What kind, boy?
Yo, we got this shit popped up in my recommended when a South African gang boss messed with the Colombian cartel. I just watched a fucking video of the Cali cartel yesterday.
Bishop Lavis era apparently being
check
kidnapped
this shit out.
by Colombian cartels because he's been linked to a cocaine shipment that apparently was lost at sea. He was, according to his family, summoned to a meeting in Gauteng and has not been seen.
It's the 26th of March, 2024. The Maritime Rescue
The Colombians are in Gauteng like that, boy. What?
suddenly receives a distress call from a location approximately 80 miles from Simonstown in South Africa. Two rescue boats are dispatched to the area, and they find 6 men stuck on a boat in the middle of nowhere. The men explains to the rescue team how they had ran out of fuel on their fishing expedition. They are safely rescued and brought back to shore, and for a second,
being stuck out in the
they
ocean
look
is
around
crazy,
each other with
boy.
an inherent
Cause I can't swim, so that's just death all around me, boy.
Only them knew what was really happening here, and if successful, they were about to be very, very rich. One of the 6 men picks up the phone and calls his relative named Peter Jaggers. The man is the leader of one of a well-known gang in Cape Town called the Terrible Joesters. He tells the boss to send the second boat as planned before hanging up the phone. You see, Peter had been dealing with the Colombian cartels and the Bulgarian mafia. He had been doing deals with them where he acted as a middleman in the transportation of drugs from the Colombians to the Bulgarians. The deal usually went as follows. The Colombians would put the cocaine on a ship inside a sealed-off container. They would wrap it up with a GPS tracker. They would then share the location of the container with the Joesters gang leader, and his job was to pick up the drop and deliver it to the Bulgarians. But this time, the man decided to keep everything for himself. A decision he would later come to regret. The second boat is sent to the location of the...
You know better than that, boy. You with the Colombian mafia and a fucking... I don't... You with the Colombian cartel and a mafia in Bulgaria, boy.
Drop, and they find about 1,500 pounds of cocaine. The men were about to be R1 billion richer, but they...
Oh no. Maybe he was onto something.
They had to outsmart 2 of the most ruthless criminal organizations on planet Earth in the process.
You know the old history of the Cape gangsters, you know, guys make a drug deal. They say, hulle soutie kom die boere, and then the guys will set you up, run away with the money and the deal. But anyway, earlier, Rashid Staghi modus operandi was, for example, a similar thing. So these things, these kind of, if the allegations are true, the knocks of drug dealers knocking each other, these things are quite, it has always been the feature of the drug trade. I think we are just a bit surprised now with the fact that people are doing it against the Colombians. But a Cape gangster is a Cape gangster.
You see, the first boat was to be used as a decoy in the act. Their plan was to act as if they lost the package at sea due to bad weather and ended up running out of fuel looking for the container. The second boat was the real deal, as it was the one to secure the drop and make the men rich beyond anything they could imagine. It's now 48 hours since the drop. A phone rings in Colombia, and a man picks up the call with a big smile on his face, about to celebrate a successful deal. He listens.
How they know he had a fucking smile on their face?
For a while, as his facial expression slowly transforms from a smile to a straight face. On the other side of the line, a voice with a Bulgarian accent can be heard screaming in...
You can't kind of tell, like on through the phone.
The Colombian assures the man and
is.
promises to get to the bottom of this. He hangs up the phone and calls his most trusted hitman. A ticket from Colombia to Johannesburg is booked, and with this, Peter Jaggers had just become a target of the most ruthless cartel on the planet. The Colombian lands in South Africa, and he first meets with the Bulgarians. They start planning their next move and starts profiling all the individuals involved in the process. It's now June 2024.
No fuck with the Colombian cartel, coke, boy. The fuck
Peter
is
Jaggers is still trying to
boy,
keep a low profile when he receives a call from his international business associates to meet them in Johannesburg in order to explain how the shipment was lost. The man does not want to raise suspicions by refusing the meeting, so he decides to accept the invitation. The contact was from the Bulgarian mafia. You see, the 2 gangs involved knew what had really happened, so they made it look like the Bulgarians were willing to buy the drop from the Joesters without the Colombian
They caught this all.
the deal. These scenarios are often in this world of crime where a middleman can screw the supplier and negotiate with the buyer on different terms. But what Peter Jaggers didn't know was that this was all a setup. It's now the 3rd of July. Jaggers and his associate William Peterson land at an international airport in Johannesburg. They are greeted by smiling Bulgarian men, and they are escorted to Emperor's Palace, where they are booked into the Piermont Dorial Grande Hotel. This
I guess he went on in style, boy.
VIP treatment is a front to trap the unsuspecting kingpin and his associate for the nightmare that is about to follow. They continue to assist them inside the luxury suite, and they are given a time for the meeting to discuss the shipment. A few hours pass before Jaggers reminds Williams to start preparing for the meeting. Both men are excited, but there is an eerie feeling on the back of their mind. They both walk towards the car which was to take them to the meeting. The men enter the vehicle before the driver starts the engine towards a location. The vehicle comes to a stop, and before Jaggers and Williams can react, a Colombian man joins the two inside the vehicle. The man produces a firearm and smiles at his two amigos. And with that, Peter Jaggers knew it was checkmate. Back in Cape Town, Peter's wife starts to notice how her husband has not been responding to texts. This raises her suspicions, and she decides to report him missing on the 5th of July, 2 days after the day of the meeting. The woman heads back home after reporting the case at Bishop Lavis police station. When a notification from an unknown number appears on her phone, the contents of the message suddenly makes her heart drop. It's a proof of life message from the Colombian demanding her or whoever in charge to return the container to the Colombians, or they would never get to see Peter Jaggers and William Peterson again. Still in shock, she asks where her husband is, and the man replies, on his way
killed us all and then they lied
to Colombia.
to get the shit back.
Hey, we not playing. Your husband is on way to South America. Then
Peter Jaggers' associate starts to try and negotiate with the man. They ask if there is anything they could do to repay the debt, since they did not know where the cocaine was, and the man replies with 50 million rand. The associates know that there is no way they can get 50 million rand on short notice, so they offer to work for the Colombian cartel until the debt is paid. The Colombian replies, never text this number again. I gave you many chances. Now it's too late for your boss. They try to contact the number again, but there is no reply from then on. It's now October 11th, 2024. Exactly 4 months since the disappearance of the South African kingpin. A man is walking near the edges of Vaal River in Free State, South Africa. The man notices something unusual popping out the river.
How the fuck does Oak get to the Free State, boy?
He finally realizes what it is and immediately calls the police. When the cops arrive, they discover the two bodies of Peter Jaggers and William Peterson.
Shit.
Their bodies had been chained, and heavy objects were used to keep both men underwater. A picture of what followed once the Colombian entered the vehicle and smiled at the two amigos while holding a firearm becomes clear. The man had been kidnapped on the spot and tortured for answers for almost 4 months. They were then taken to the Vaal River and bound with chains before being thrown in the river. They were then taken to the Vaal River and bound with chains before being thrown in the river alive. This punishment is common with cartels in South America, and it is mostly reserved for people who are deemed to have stolen from the cartel. The story of the man who messed with the wrong cartel ended in the most ruthless way possible.
God damn, bro. Yo. Shout out to this old INFERUM. Oh shit. This so good. I need to watch all of this shit, bruh. Hey. Yeah.